Thanksgiving Day. Excuse me to say, constipation. When you are constipated, you are not comfortable. But when constipation ends, you feel great. And it's supposed to be a natural phenomenon every day. But when the situation changes, like attending a session in a different place, different schedule, many people be constipated. But when constipation is over, we feel that the movement of our internal organ, which we are not aware of every day. We are aware of what to eat, we can judge delicious or not delicious, etc., etc., etc. But once we pass through the tongue, we forget. But in the meantime, as you know, our stomach works and intestine is also works, but the constipation is a traffic jam in the intestine, and when that is solved, as you can experience many times in heavy traffic, and then all of a sudden you are driving on a highway, great. This is exactly what internal. So every day is a good day. It sounds as if the traffic we cannot appreciate. But right now in Manhattan, especially 5th Avenue and 57th Street, is constipated. And but we can judge this and that, and that and this, and this and that and this. But when we come to slightly spiritual point of view, whatever is happening externally as well as internally, we can cultivate the spirit of every day is Thanksgiving Day. And if we can do that, we can say that your Zen practice come to the maturity. And if we cannot say that, we need 30 more years practice and 60 more blows of stick. So, to state it briefly, the goal of Zen practice is to be able to put our palms together every single day. Today, too, is Thanksgiving Day, not thanks receiving Day. Thanksgiving Day. The joy of giving is far better, far more than receiving. We think that receiving is better than giving. No. And today's koan Gettan Osho said, Keichu, the first wheel maker, made a card whose wheels had 100 spokes. Who was Teisho was unknown. Maybe the easiest way for you to understand is this is the Chinese Henry Ford. But when he lived, nobody knows. The first automobile maker is called Henry Ford, I understand. Speaking of automobile, because of Eido, she cannot walk. I often use Uber, and normally Toyota, most of the time Toyota or Honda comes to pick us up. Yesterday, I had to take her someplace, so I called Uber, and to my surprise, it was a Cadillac. Wow. Of course, it's a big car, so she had a difficult time to get in. On the way back, again I called Uber. Guess what did I get? Mercedes-Benz. So I thought, well, Trump is working now. Getting rid of Toyota, Nissan, and Honda. Wow. Anyway, this is maybe just by accident, Cadillac and Mercedes-Benz is a German car. So, Gettan Osho, Chinese Zen master, Gettan Osho said, Keichu, the first wheel maker, made a card whose wheels had 100 spokes. It's clear enough. Now, suppose you took a cart and removed both the wheels and axles. What would you have? It is just like our body, which is said made by 4 elements: earth, water, heat, and wind. Earth is hard, so like our flesh and bones belong to that category. Water is blood, sweat. They belong to the water category. Heat is the temperature. And wind is the breath, exhalation and inhalation. And when all these 4 elements are disintegrated, then what? This is, the question is exactly like that. So people may say, opening with their hands, nothing, something like this, nothing. Besides 4 elements, or using 4 elements, maybe using is better. First, let's go. Using 4 elements, we can dose, right? Without them, we cannot, right? Right? The master said so. But without them all, people may say consciousness or spirit may remain. So getting back to this, suppose you took a car and removed both the wheels and axle, what would you have? That is the question, and there was no answer, right? There is a Japanese word which is called hataraki, can be translated as work, activity, or action. And in a Zen monastery, what they teach is many, many things, but most important thing is for them to use their intuition to polish always what's next, what's immediate next, without arguing. What's next? Without, when you ask such a question to the senior monk, the answer is the same. Think about it. You figure out. They never teach. You figure out. You figure out. And by doing so, and made a mistake, and being scolded, and don't know what to do, and ask, you figure out. Figure it out. And to take an action, inappropriate, scolded, don't know what to do. And this is the most important training in the Zen monastery. It's not many other things. It's certainly not academic study, certainly not various other things. What's next? You figure it out. And it's most of the time we fail and scolding. So, to be there for a few years, we know what is appropriate action, what is next, without asking the friend's advice, what is next. And this is what American Zen is lacking. American Zen is full of knowledge. Lots of knowledge. Or perhaps some of them have some chi accumulated in their heart, but very little have this intuitive judgment or intuitive action known as hataraki, with bones, water, wind, temperature. So a key point of this koan is not analyze, is not disintegrate. You, or most of you are born in America, American, French, American, or maybe not, American, Japanese, American, okay. So I'm not a racist, nationalist. I don't mean Japanese is better than American. American car is much better than Japan. Used to be, anyway. What I think educational system in this country is, knowledge is more important, and intuitive action is less important. And if you have both, great. Of course, okay, we cannot change American educational system. But what we Zen Buddhists have to learn is how to use that accumulated chi and how to connect our intellect and accumulated chi. This connection, when this is done, great. That's why we are doing Zazen. In order to do so, speak less, even though I'm speaking a lot. But among you, speak less. Enjoy your quiet time and connect with good earth. And we have to know that this is a temporary condition of four elements. And essentially nothing, but we can do. It's essentially no substance. Yet we can create something which is like the verse says, when the spiritual wheels turn, and this is what the intuitive activity. Even the master fails to follow them. They travel in all directions, above and below, north, south, east and west. I guess the time has come for the American Zen student to learn, go one step more than the chi, and how to use that chi spontaneously and accurately. And that's what I think we are now facing. Most of you have been sitting with me 20 years, 30 years, maybe Ungan is the longest, 40 years. And a few of you approached me privately, saying that this group have to invite new students, beginners. Otherwise, the next generation will not grow. That's quite right. Truly true. And I don't know myself how many more years I can live. And this is the reality. So, I am, as long as I am able to, I'll be happy to be invited to attend once a month, all day sit like today. This I can continue. At the same time, the time has come for you to figure out, to have some kind of beginner's class, inviting strangers, or those who are willing to learn how to do Zazen. In this day and age, Zazen is more and more important than ever. Yet many people don't know where to go, don't know how to do, and so on. And this group consisted of many senior students. You have to teach them, and thus true Dhamma will be continued. My generation, your generation, and the next generation. And starting next year, 2017, if Hoshino-san allows us to use this place twice a month, once a month, all day sit, like today. And another one is maybe half a day, or even 2 or 3 hours the most. And if you organize, it will happen. When I came to New York for the first time, I had no temple, no friends, no Sangha, no nothing. All I did was just sitting, walking. And whenever, I walked with lugged robe. It was mid-1960s. So with hippies and all these approached me, "What are you doing?" "I'm walking." "I know that. What are you doing?" "I'm a Buddhist monk." "I am curious. Where do you meet?" West 85th Street, small apartment, second floor. The living room was like this. And I did not have a cushion. "May I come?" "Oh, yes." And I did not, on those days, there was no email, no nothing. Just really primitive. So my walking with Ro was a sort of advertisement. And one by one came and sat. "Where can I sit?" "I sit down on the floor." "It's very hard." "Yes, it is hard. Next time, why don't you bring your own cushion?" On those days, these cushions were not available. So I told them to bring this kind of cushion from your couch. So, how many? "Well, 5 or hopefully 6. So he said, "What? So many? But don't you think that we need 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 4. And 5 is on top of it. If not high enough, we need 1 more." "That's right." And then everybody came with cushion. And then what I did next was cushion making class. I know how to make cushion. So I told them, you get the cotton, black cotton, and you get how do you call this? Panya? K-pack. Then, can you sew? Yes, I can. But, I asked someone, can you sew? Yes, I can. This I can sew, but this cushion is not easy. So I got one from Japan and study this. And perhaps it took about a year or so to come to this. Everybody had their own cushion, or whoever came without couch cushion, anyhow, then there was ready. So to create from nothing to something was really something. That joy was really something. And where there is a passion, where there is a passion to do this, it can be done. And if there is no passion, nothing works out. So on those days I walked a lot. I remember once I walked all the way west 10th Street, and I was living 85th Street. So 75 block. The more I walked, the greater I felt. And morning zazen, nobody came, okay, fine. Early morning, I sat, and then magic kannon go kanze, onamo, butsuyo, butsu, inyo, butsu, and I did not have a mokugyo, by the way. So, and Hoshina's father, Hosen Seki Sensei, today, by the way, his 20th is not the exact month of November, but he died in 20th, right?
In July.
Yes, but 20th.
20th. Yeah.
So this morning I chanted together with several others. Anyway, he gave me incense burner, and he gave me a few teacups, and this simple thanksgiving was just a time for me to return to what he did for us, not for me, for us. Anyway, you may think, all of you may think, okay, if some of you organize, if some of you set a date, and if some of you ask me, whoever that me means, to give the Dhamma talk, I'll be happy to do so. It will never happen that way. Okay? If all of you get together without too much argument. All right, they take a seniority order. Let's negotiate with Hoshina-san on availability and ask Zensho to etc., etc., etc. I will not attend, okay? I will not attend your beginner's class. And otherwise, you will not grow if I attend. I will not attend. And I'll attend only through day like this, once a month. And really hope that your bodhisattva spirit is real. Right now we're too comfortable. It's really too comfortable. You get to you receive email information. Okay. Everything is set. It may be a good idea for you to have this hard, difficult time which you don't, none of you like. And I didn't like either. But unless some of you do this, nothing will happen. The American Zen will be just intellectual Zen, that's it. When 100, now, this is a key sentence. Now suppose you took a cart and removed both the wheels and axle, what would you have? What will be left? This is where hataraki, activity, intuitive, spontaneous, yet well-planned spontaneous activity will take place. And as long as we chant, Shijom Hensei Gando, however endless the Buddha's way is, I vow to follow it. You have to go with that way. You know, I was meeting with someone who was faithfully attending Thursday night at Shoboji, and I asked him, are you still going? No, I don't. I did not ask why, but there must be some reason. So ironic, where there is a space, there is no man. Where there is man, people, there is inconvenience. And this is the reality. And this is the reality. And even if all the four elements are removed, the spontaneous action is not the elements. And this is what I learned the most at the monastery. So, my eye operation and thanks, every day is Thanksgiving Day. This is not just words and words and words. This is truly, I feel, more and more. Every day is Thanksgiving Day, or full of gratitude. And now time has come for me to truly retire. And we'll continue once a month Zazenkai, but ask you to take care of those who are wandering in the ignorance of darkness of ignorance and wishing thirst and food, and above all, the great Zazen. That's all we need in this day and age, particularly in America now.